everyone. Good evening. Yet again, another session on Endo Crusaders. So today is a very, very special session. It's not every day that we get to have a conversation with people who have within them the power to bring about a change in the society. So our guests today have distributed a whopping 1.75 lakh meals across Mumbai from migrant workers to poor and needy during the COVID-19 pandemic. I feel honored to welcome Saurabh and Dipti, the power couple and the change makers to Endo Crusaders.
Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone.
So, at an age where guys are busy partying, Saurabh realized that there is more to life than just living for yourself. He decided to do something about it to get change in the society that he was living in. So, he holds a graduation in IT and has done an MBA from Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies. And he is also taught in an international school for 7 years. And he's founded multiple companies in real estate. Saurabh set up Upasana Society, which is an NGO, in November 2011 to look into varying needs of society, with a motive to strive towards bringing a positive change in the society and to get sustainability to all projects that they do. Coming to Dipti, the powerhouse. So Dipti is into creating and maintaining websites. She's a freelancer. And she is a big time Instagram influencer. You should follow her. You should see the kind of followers she has. And she is a social activist. She is the co-founder of Upasana Society and has been working towards bringing smiles on people's faces and has surely touched millions of hearts. So their initiatives range from adopting a village, beautification and hygiene, animal welfare, education, health awareness, spreading happiness, and a lot of others, including creating awareness about menstrual hygiene. So there's a big list. If I start going into the list, I think we'll need hours to just talk about their work. So I think I'll stop it here. And to just say the least, they work on voluntary basis and they like to keep transparency in their work. Dipti leverages on her social media handles to create awareness and runs campaigns and has been covered extensively in media. She is the face of these initiatives, and Saurabh is the backbone, the strategist, the planner, and everything that happens behind the scenes. So, Dipti and Saurabh, I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you very much.
We are actually very grateful to you, Shilpa, for letting us here. Having us here.
And we do party as well. Yeah, apart from doing this.
I know. So, also, we have with us Dr. Vimmi Bindra. Dr. Vimmi, as we all know, she is a renowned gynecologist and laparoscopic surgeon at Apollo Hospitals, Hyderabad. She specializes in fertility enhancing surgeries and endometriosis excision surgeries. She has special interest towards increasing awareness about endometriosis in patients and doctors alike. So she's been working incessantly towards improving the quality of life for women with endometriosis. So, Vimmi, a big hi again.
Hi, Shilpa. Hi. And shall I introduce you as well? So No, for our new viewers, they should know, mostly existing viewers know us because every Sunday we are here. And Shilpa is a dentist, a renowned dentist in Pune. And she is an endometriosis survivor. And she has undergone multiple surgeries. And now she has taken this task for creating awareness for endometriosis. And she is doing a marvelous work, and I always admire her dedication towards this. Although it's not her professional field, but she's taking so much of interest, so much of research she's doing and bringing people to you so that we can create awareness and change women's life. Welcome, Shilpa. I think this session is also going to be a good one.
Thank you, Vimmi. I think so. Our main purpose for people who don't know what Endo Crusaders is, it is a platform to create awareness about endometriosis, which is a very common disease affecting 1 in 10 women worldwide. But still, it's like a big enigma. People don't know about it. So these are just awareness sessions we bring for public awareness. So let's begin the session now. Okay, so Saurabh, I think I will start with you.
Okay.
Let's hear from you. How was Upasana born? What was your mindset when you were thinking about Upasana, and what did it take for you to become a change maker? To decide about taking this path. It's not an easy path to get into. So how did it happen?
Okay, so this started in 2007, I suppose. I joined as a teacher, as an IT teacher in an international school in 2007. And that's when my aunt, okay, so now she's no more. I lost her to cancer. So she used to take me to a lot of places, like tribal places and underprivileged places. And I used to teach all the high profile kids at that point in time. And that's when I came across a very different side of the world, okay. And that's when I realized that a lot of work needs to be done in these parts. So it all started like a picnic. Initially my aunt had told me, why not you just come with me as a picnic. So I went to those places as a picnic point. I continued going there, and then initially I started doing work myself. Okay, so what I did was I wanted all my friends and all my relatives to be a part of it. And initially I realized that no one wanted to join. So I decided that I will take the initiative up to me and then start. So as and when I started with a small number, more and more people started joining me, and that's how a lot of doctor volunteers joined me, or volunteers from different fields started joining me, and that's how I started increasing the campaigns. So from 2007 to 2011, I did all of these campaigns, and so all the campaigns which I'm running are as old as 2007. So
Oh, wow.
we run those campaigns in 2007, and as and when volunteers from that specific field join. So basically, I'm an IT person. Dipti is an IT person. We have no clue about, in a sense, the medical terms. So we started with medical volunteers. So medical volunteers used to take care of the medical campaigns that used to happen. And then
Correct.
as in when new people used to join, some people used to ask me what about animals, some people used to ask me what about environment, and etc etc. So I realized that my liking was towards a particular area, but then while doing so there are so many other individuals who are there who want to work in different areas. So I thought, why to limit it to just education? And that's when I started doing campaigns in parallel, and because of which either of the campaign is always alive, and that's the reason we are always there in the picture. So more people get to know about it, and people join based on their interest area, and rather than me telling them that you need to do only this. So we have been doing a menstruation, like menstrual hygiene, we started in 2007, and that's when we wish to start sanitary pads.
Okay,
But
that's
now that
amazing.
that has gone from sanitary pads to cloth pads to menstrual cups, and now me and Dipti are giving workshops. So it's all so it's come a long way since 2007. So in 2011 we registered the NGO
Hmm.
because a lot of people were joining, and that's how Upasana came into existence.
Amazing, amazing. See, the thing is, the best part about the NGO, I mean, I've been fortunate to have been associated with you. So I think the best part about Upasana is every person has a work to their liking. Whatever they want to do, they
Yeah,
can do it.
exactly, exactly.
Every field, every little work and the kind of work that you guys do is like so amazing. And and guys, I really have to tell this to all our audience. They don't accept any monetary money per se, any cash per se. And that is like one of the few NGOs. I mean, yours is one of the few NGOs I've seen like that. So it's like kudos to you guys. Yeah. So Vimi, you had something for Dipti.
Yeah. No, really amazing and commendable. And I think at the end
Thank
of
you,
the day,
thank
after
you.
doing these tasks, you feel so satisfied,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you don't even think about money and all that in these things.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, Deepthi, you are from a completely different background. What
Yeah.
was your thought process when you got involved with Upasana? Like, what? Maybe I can ask what you were looking for, like 5 year goals, or what was your purpose of doing it?
So basically, I didn't have any goal as such, but when I got married to Saurabh, it came in as a part and parcel of life, like of the marriage. So since he was so passionate with respect to Upasana, and I was coming from the corporate world. I tried to balance it out initially because I was still working, and then
Correct.
gradually I realized that when I'm on the field, I'm the happiest, and when I'm in the corporates, I'm completely stressed. So when I was accompanying Saurabh for the campaigns initially, while I was working over the weekends, I realized that this is something which is giving me true happiness. And there was one fine day when we decided, okay, I don't want to work anymore, and I just want to do this with you full time. Because Saurabh was already doing that along with managing his other businesses. And then I said, it's not going to be that difficult, but let me give it a try. And if not, I can always, join back in the corporates anytime I wish to. But it never happened. It's been, we're going to complete 5 years in 2021. And we are still, since 5 years, I am really very happy doing what I'm doing. It's not that I've lost touch with what I used to do. I'm still doing my work. I'm an IT person and I'm still making websites, which is also something which I love to do. And everything is balanced out, and I'm really very satisfied at this moment.
So basically, we are doing anything and everything that we can do when we are on the move.
Yeah.
So we are more of travelers,
Yeah.
and we don't want to get into a 9 to 5 job. We don't mind working 24/7, but at different locations. So whatever we get into, whatever we get into is something which need not be like a fixed place. I don't have to go to a place every day.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
not
the reason.
location specific. It's not location specific. That's the best part.
Yeah,
So that's
the best.
so any business which is not location specific is something that you will find us.
For that matter, even a campaign, even if we go to any place that we are traveling, if we find a certain problem, every location has its own, problems.
Challenges,
And
yeah.
Saurabh and I, we stay there for a couple of days, and we realize that we can definitely try to find a solution to this problem, and we can do social work over there as well. So
Perfect. Amazing.
Amazing. That's amazing. That's really nice.
thank
So
you.
you're not time bound, and you can do what you want,
Yes.
and it gives you a sense of immense sense of satisfaction. Actually,
It does.
It
So
does.
you,
Yes.
you being a male, what were the biggest challenges you faced in the society when
So as I
you?
said,
Yeah, the challenges faced by a male working for the women awareness, and especially a topic which is not much talked about.
okay, so initially, as I told you that in 2007, when I started the NGO, when I started working in this area, I felt like only and only education is the need of the hour. There is nothing and nothing which is important apart from education. But then over a period of time, as and when I met a lot of people, I was thrown up to a lot of questions. Like people used to tell me that if you are not in good health, how will you, go to school or college? And that's when I realized that, I need to change a bit. And that's when medical volunteers started coming in. So initially, when I started off with this, we used to cater to underprivileged areas and tribal areas. So the girls and the women out there were very shy. So what we used to do is, or what I used to do is, I was never in the room initially. So the girl volunteers used to conduct the session, but then over a period of time, as and when they used to get the hang of, that we are here to help, and that's when I used to enter. So the whole idea, yeah. So the whole idea of me being in the session right now, also when I'm doing the session right now, I am not adding any value as such to the session, to be very frank. But my main concern is to make the women very uncomfortable. Okay, very uncomfortable, because if they can't stand one male, okay, like me, during that session, it's impossible for them to get out of that once they come in the society. So in
Absolutely.
that 1.5 hour or 2 hour session, whenever Dipti is talking about vagina and this and that, I am doing ooh ah and stuff like that, It's just to make them uncomfortable and get that thing out of the head that this is something which is very normal. Everyone knows about it. They need not be very shy about it. And that's when because what the topic is very technical. So since we are IT people, we are the way we give the presentation is completely in a very layman's term. So there's a lot of jokes coming in from my side, and so all those things is something that I do. So people normally like me in the session because of the fun part that I get into the session.
I can imagine. And also, sorry.
Yeah. So it's still a challenge because it actually depends on the audience. Like wherever we go, there are different types of audience. Some women are really very comfortable if Saurabh is in the room, like, or if any other man is in the room. But some women are really very shy. They will not open up, you know. So it is very important sometimes for Saurabh to be out, and then he only comes at the end to click pictures.
because because in some schools and colleges they don't let me come inside. They are very scared. So now when we share our profile with them, and they know that we have done the session with me in the session, then they are fine. Otherwise they're very scared. They're scared that what the parents will say, what the management
Yeah.
will say when a
Correct.
boy is talking with respect to this particular topic to the girls. So we have done the session for both boys and girls sitting together also. So now people are like, have you done this before? And then we show them, ye dekho, we have done this.
Yeah.
So then they're fine. Okay. So now we can do. So no one wants to be a guinea pig. So the initial part, till we found that one place where I could enter, and that one place where the boys and girls could sit together in the session, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare to them. After that, we've been just showing them, look at this. So we have done this in almost every part of it, like 10 states as of now. So right from Christians to Muslims to Hindus, and everyone has been catered to.
So absolutely. See, the entire purpose of us inviting you, Saurabh, in this particular talk was that only that it is not just about the women. You know, a family would always consist of a man, a woman. Obviously people from both the genders. So
Exactly.
both the genders have to be sensitized towards this particular issue, and it is not a taboo. People have to know that it is normal.
Yeah.
And things have to get normalized. And
Yeah.
and that's more about trust. That's what I'm saying. It's probably now you have created that trust factor within the society itself. So things are easier, much easier for you now after so many years.
No, but then
You
I've
know,
been a little selfish also. Okay, so the thing is, when I'm saying that is because in the first year it was a nightmare, because every girl or a lady goes through different phases when she is
correct.
coming towards her periods. And if I would have not known what is happening, I would have been divorced 10 times by now. Okay, so a little more knowledge about how Dipti functions has kept us together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been very difficult.
No, that's the whole purpose, because trust me, we do have people coming to us, or rather calling us, with problems coming into their marital lives because of issues pertaining to menstrual health. Obviously the mood swings and all that come with the menstrual cycle is something which needs to be understood. You can't really change it. So, Dipti, you have ventured into one of the most taboo topics, in the country, the menstrual health. And also you have been promoting menstrual cups, right? So what made you start working towards this particular cause?
Yeah, so for me, menstrual hygiene, when you talk about menstrual hygiene, I personally have faced a lot of issues in my life because I'm coming from a financially poor background and my parents could not afford a pad for me. And when I used to go to school, I got my periods when I was 16, and I have used a cloth pad until I was graduating.
Just
And
cloth, I guess. Cloth
not even
pad.
a cloth pad, just a cloth, like you get
Oh,
that
God.
square triangle cloth. And
Uh-huh.
so I've used that for about 7 to 8 years of my life, and it has been like really very bad. The experience has been really, really very bad because there was nobody to guide us at that time when I was growing up. They used to not, the teachers used to not talk to us about it. They used to not educate us about it in the school. Um,
The
the
family,
relationship
the
between,
family also, I guess.
like the first person that a daughter would want to go to is the mother or a sister, probably,
Correct.
being the same gender. But that even was not there. And the next person that came to my mind was a friend. But whenever I used to go to a friend, she used to be like, "You, why are you talking about this to us? Go and ask someone else." So it was a really very, the topic was very, what do you say?
She didn't have a mobile phone
Yeah,
also at
yeah.
that point.
I mean,
So now
there was no
anything happens,
internet,
yeah, there was no internet.
nothing. Like the whisper ad, the sanitary pads ads that they show on the TV right now, that was also very rare at that time. So we were clueless with respect to periods. Like ऐसा कुछ होने वाला है ये भी पहली बार तो पता नहीं था. और जब हो गया, that time it became even more difficult to manage it. So because personally I have been through a lot, when I entered into this field, I realized that, if a girl when I was 16, if any girl who is getting her period for the first time, if she can get any help out of my sessions, nothing like it. Because I still feel that even if we are in 2020, we are going towards 2021, the this topic is still a taboo. It's a very it's not discussed that much, and people are very shy, and forget people as a whole, even the family is very shy to discuss it with the daughter, with the brothers, the father. It's not only the responsibility of the mother. I would say anybody in the family should be able to discuss this with the girl who is going to get her periods or has already got her periods, because when you discuss it in the family, it becomes easier for the girl to understand things, and then
Correct.
she's prepared for the periods when she gets it. And at such a tender age, you have a lot of queries, at a young age, like, why is this happening to you? And most of the times you are depressed, thinking that there is something wrong with you.
Absolutely.
And today there is internet, but internet has its own pros and cons as well. There is good information out there, there is wrong information out there, so you need to also guide a child as to what is correct. And if it comes from an experienced person, nothing like it.
But then the biggest problem that I feel is, even after the internet being there, the girls and boys have still not checked as to what their body is all about. They're clueless about how many holes are there. They don't know where the baby comes out from. Comes from. I guess you've done the sessions in colleges and they say like it comes out of the tummy, So
there is lack of awareness still, because since every body is different, every girl is going through a different kind of feeling when she gets her periods. So she doesn't know the questions, she doesn't have the answers to all her questions, and she needs somebody who can answer her questions. And going to a gynecologist is also something which is not done in India as much. Like, periods को लेके कुछ भी हो जाता है तो still parents prefer going to a physician, a family physician, and asking them for help rather than going to an expert.
True. That's true. And I think the first time a girl sees a gynac is post her marriage, mostly.
Exactly. That's so correct. And
visiting a gynac before marriage is also a taboo.
Exactly.
That's what. So it's fit in people's head in such a way that it's just got stuck. Right now, people, some girls and boys have even asked us questions, Dipti, that I kissed my boyfriend, will I be pregnant? So people have asked us questions which they can easily check on the net. But then for them to even check on that is like a taboo for them. So they are just waiting for someone to come and talk to them, and that's the reason I guess we've been going out and meeting people face to face rather than just having online sessions.
So I think that is my own struggles in my life have made me realize that it is very important to continue spreading awareness about menstruation. Even though all this information is readily available on the internet, this face-to-face interaction with one-on-one interaction with girls, it's really very important in today's time.
Correct.
And you also mentioned that when you were in school and you had a problem talking to other people, so this whisper ads and all that, when they were used to shown on the TV, switching over the channels was a common thing at home. That. So in my home, they used to change the channel, and nobody used to talk about it. Then when I was in class 9th, I went to my biology teacher and I asked her, why madam nobody talks about it and why they change the channel when I'm watching the TV?
So just to give you an idea with respect,
I was not born gynecologist, right? I was just a girl. So I asked her, I literally went to her and I asked like why it happens. Then she also just tried to shut down the talk and topic. She did not explain me much. And people have told me also, why are you playing when you are doing when we entered menarche, the initial periods and everybody knew. They told me that why are you playing during these days and those things. So what you narrated was exactly what we have faced. And it has happened in like 80 to 90% of the houses in our country.
And I'm sure it's still happening, but then nobody's, talking about it until and unless someone goes and opens up to them and is there to listen to them. And there are girls who have come to me and they've told me, I haven't shared this with my best friend or with my mother or with my sister, but I feel like sharing it with you. Why with me? Because I have no connections with them other than this topic. And which I really feel good, when girls can come and talk to me about it. Because they're at least venting it out. They're at least letting people know that they are suffering from a problem or they have certain query.
Correct. So
Just to
Saurabh,
give- Just to give you an idea, is a real life example. I'm 35 now. I guess in the last 20 years, okay, the color of the fluid in the sanitary pad has just changed from blue to red. That's the only change that has happened. Apart from that, there is nothing. Only that ad, and people are like, "Wow, the fluid has changed to red now," and people are very happy about it. But yeah, I'm so glad after 20 years. So this is the pace. So in 20 years, just the fluid has changed the color from blue to red, and that too, people think that, oh my god, it's such a big change.
I know, and there's a long way to go. Trust me.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it'll take hundreds of Diptis and Saurabhs to work to get a change. So, as Saurabh, you have said that there was a lot of resistance, you being a guy. So, is there some particular way in which you could break the ice with the sessions?
Okay, so initially I used to enter as a photographer. Okay, so I used to be clicking photos, and then once the girls used to be a little fine. So Dipti used to tell beforehand that Saurabh will come and he'll just take the photographs and he will go. But then initially I started increasing the rounds. Okay. I initially, instead of coming once, I was coming twice, thrice, 4 times. Then I started taking videos. And then, once the girls are fine with me being there, then they're completely fine me being on the stage also. And that's how the transition has been. But it has been a long time. It's been a journey. Okay, it didn't happen the very first go. And a lot of people used to ask me as to how can you be so open about this topic in tribal areas. But then I feel that tribal women are more open for me being in the session rather than the urban women. So that's one of the biggest myth which people think that, when you go into tribal areas. So I have posted a lot of videos, photos, me talking to the women directly when I'm meeting them for the first time, and they're very open about it. And that has broken their thinking about how can they be so open. So it's been like a slap on their face type, like, this is like something's wrong with me, so that way.
True. I mean, see, it's a myth. See, a lot of myths are there in the sense people think that people in the urban setups are more open, but honestly, like you just said, things are more hush when it comes to an urban area. There are a lot of taboos, lots and lots of taboos which are involved. Seriously.
So, Dipti, when you interacted with these girls, when you go and give the awareness sessions, so what common problems they come up with?
Okay, so initially I used to not hear about PCOD and PCOS as much. But now I think out of all my sessions, if there are 20 women in the session, I think about 50% of the women are suffering from PCOD or, PCOS. And they have PMS, like severe PMS issues. There are a lot of women who I'm coming across are facing infertility. And so the thing is with tribal women, they go to the doctor, they go to the gynecologist, they consult a gynecologist. But the problem is the treatment. They cannot afford the treatment. So they take the medication, they take the first course of medication, but then they cannot continue with it.
And the diet is not very good at times. So
the
that's
only thing that they eat is
in
rice.
Some of the places.
In some places, is what they produce is what they eat. That's the only thing that they eat. And that is why
nutrition is one of the problems.
And the PCOS and then affording the gynecologist. All these are the major problems which women are facing.
That is in the rural area, but in the urban area, I guess it's more of tension and bad eting. That is
again nutrition, diet, and also exercise. In urban areas, that's the problem. So I have seen this among girls, the so-called diets. They want to remain in that slim and trim body, but
Correct.
in that
Yes.
bargain, they are forgetting that they are harming their bodies. Uh, you don't have to stay slim and trim. You have to stay healthy. You have to stay fit, and
Correct.
whatever your body needs, you need to eat that. As I said initially, every body is different. So if
Correct.
if my friend is eating something and if it is working for her, it may or may not work for me. So I need to observe and see what works for my body, and I need to eat that accordingly.
So we have done the
Correct.
session on
Yeah.
certain colleges. So we
Yeah.
are not against any diet, but the thing is, whenever they are getting problems with respect to periods, that's when they are neglecting it, and that's where the problem starts.
Yeah.
So anything apart from, like, if they're getting fever, so we ask them, when you have fever, dysentery, you go to the doctor. Said yes, but then what about this? Why have you not gone to a doctor? They're like, no, I don't feel like going. I think it will go away in the next period, and those are the topics. That's how they try and just get.
And one more common thing I've seen is girls take a lot of over-the-counter medicines. These
Correct.
days.
Correct.
Painkiller.
Correct. That's right. The painkillers. Correct.
Yeah, it's quite in the picture because they just feel like, okay, it's giving me that temporary relief. But then I also talk about this during my sessions, and I tell them that every tablet has its side effects. So if you're
Correct.
putting something inside you, just either it has to be prescribed by the doctor looking at your condition and your
Correct.
situation. Otherwise,
Correct.
you shouldn't be going for over the counter medicines, especially first of all with respect to your periods.
And some girls have gone to the doctors. They have told them the prescribed medicines for a particular period,
Yeah.
but then they are continuing it
You
throughout.
keep
Yeah.
having that. Keep
Yeah.
using.
So that is one more problem. So when we asked them, was this prescribed by the doctor? They said yes. Then we asked them, when did you visit the doctor? Last year.
Last year.
So that's one more problem.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Because see, the problem is the seriousness towards a particular problem concerned with period pains is not there. Because it
Yeah.
is considered normal. We've been told by our families, our friends that the pain is normal.
Yeah.
That's what all of us have been told.
Right.
So now to change that, I think it'll take a lot of
To what
patience.
limit are you supposed to tolerate it? Like normal pain is normal, I understand, but what is not normal is something to be told, to girls.
Correct.
Like,
Correct.
what is that trigger, and when is it that you're supposed to visit the doctor?
Correct. True. So, have you ever heard of endometriosis from any of the sessions that you have taken?
Never.
Never.
In fact, Shilpa, I want to thank you and women for doing this, because I think before this, I don't think anybody has taken.
I guess the first time that I heard about this term was from Sheetal, to be very frank.
Yeah.
I know.
Otherwise, to be very frank, I don't think so any person knows about this. See, this is a condition. Once you go to a doctor or a specialized doctor, he or she will tell you.
Yeah.
And that's how, and normally what happens, if there is any problem with respect to menstruation, no one wants to discuss it. Okay.
Absolutely.
So that's the reason no one gives any reviews as such. So we have never come across this unless someone tells you and I search for it. So
I think
Correct.
it's, how majority of the activists or bloggers, influencers, or whoever is there out on the social media are talking about pads, are talking about menstruation after especially the release of Padman movie.
Correct.
Endometriosis is also one more movie has to come up, and then people will remember the term. Otherwise, we have to
seriously.
yours altogether.
So, Dipti, honestly, it is such a painful thing because there are people who contemplate on committing suicide because of the kind of a lifestyle they get into, because the kind of pain that they go through all through the year, every day. It is not easy, and especially what happens is even the doctors per se are not, they're just negating the issue about, okay, it's a period pain, it's okay, it'll go.
exactly.
So the thing is, the first and foremost thing what I feel is the patients have to be aware. The people per se have to be aware that there is something called as endometriosis. And if you're having severe period pains which are unbearable, in which you're not able to, do your regular day-to-day activity, you need to see a doctor. And if the doctor is not telling you, please go to a specialist.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's something.
So what we do is we tell them more of symptoms rather than pain. See, because the thing is, what pain is normal for me would not be normal for her.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
such a term that I can't explain it to people. So the tolerance is different for different people, and right
Absolutely.
from childhood, the mother or the family is always told that period pain is very common. Okay,
Yeah.
so you always stay in that thing. So what we do is when you're talking about PCOD, you will get hair like growth and stuff like, and that's when girls start telling you like, oh my god, this is something which is there with me, and that's when we again talk. Otherwise, if we straight away say that this is what you have, people will be like, no, I don't have
Correct.
this. It's
Correct.
normal,
Correct.
and I can't have a conversation with them saying that this is not normal. How can I explain that? How can she explain that
What
this
is
pain is
normal
not
for
normal?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Correct. True.
So, Dipti and Saurabh, I would like to ask you, you must have heard the term diabetes, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yes. Breast cancer.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
of course.
If we go by facts and figures, endometriosis is more common than these two. But
Exactly.
still,
So that,
people don't
yeah,
know about
they've
it.
been marketed, yeah. So they've been marketed in that way, diabetes and cancer. So that's the
Yes.
reason, I
And
guess.
just now, I remember Deepti mentioning that out of 20 girls, 10 have PCOS. And she has given almost the exact figures. It affects 1 in 5 women. And endometriosis affects 1 in 10 women. And that's pretty common. If 10 women are there, one might have endometriosis. And we say if you know 10 women with endometriosis, you know endometriosis.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because people don't talk about it, that is the problem where their diagnosis is delayed. They suffer for a lifetime. It leads to social problems also because of this pain. They have infertility issues. They have problems with intercourse. They have painful intercourse. So marital life is affected. It leads to divorces. And Shilpa, as she mentioned, that it leads to suicidal tendency as well. The pain is so severe. It hampers their quality of life so much that they give up at one point of time. And why they don't report to the doctors or to anyone, because over the years they have been conditioned like that painful periods are normal. They have been told it's normal. I have gone through this. Your grandmother has gone through this. You are made to suffer.
Yeah.
So
But then they forget that the grandmothers and the mothers, the kind of food, the
it's like a family tradition. We have followed it. You also follow it.
yeah.
So
So
that's
even
what
we,
we
when they
want to
discuss the
make people
mental
aware.
health, yeah,
That's what we want to make people aware. If you cannot do your routine activities, if it is affecting your quality of life, if young girls are missing their school, if you have problems during intercourse, have problems childbearing, definitely there is something wrong, and there is a solution to it.
right.
You can have a good quality of life. You don't need to suffer in silence and suffer in pain.
Yeah.
So, how often these girls report to you about the painful periods?
Oh, a lot.
I guess 90%. I
Yeah.
guess.
I have been getting calls from I have been to 10, we have been to 10 states, right? So after like about 2-3 months also, the mothers have got in touch with me because I go and do these sessions in the schools. Sometimes I ask the parents to be there, the mothers to be there, but sometimes it's not possible. So the children, the girls, they go home and they tell their parents about it, like, ऐसे एक दीदी आई थी and she did this kind of a workshop. And whenever she gets her first period and there is immense pain, or even later in certain cases if there is immense pain, the mothers call me and they tell me that madam आपने उसके साथ workshop उनके school में किया था, so she is suffering from pain, what to do, you only talk to her, please tell her that this is normal. And I'm like, no, first of all I want to talk to you. How can you ignore what your child is telling you? You can't just tell her it's normal. Maybe it is normal for your body what you may be suffering from, but you will never understand what she is suffering from. So you
Correct.
have to take her to the gynec and you have to get her checked at least once, and then you can say whether it's normal or no.
So there are multiple situations. As I said, she
Yeah.
said like in some cases they tell their mom, and the mom is not fine with the whole idea that her daughter has a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other aspect is in some of the houses, no matter what she is going through, she says like, how can I go and talk about it? And I don't have the money to go to a doctor.
Yeah.
So they're caught up in that thing and they try and just go on and on and on. So in urban, they try and neglect it, but in the rural areas, either there is a lot of myths and taboos due to which they cannot talk,
Or
and
they
since
have
they are not
watched.
earning, they can't go to the doctor directly. So as and when we go to such places, they want to just find solution to it, like from top to bottom, from us
Yeah.
only. They feel like we are doctors only.
They
you know?
actually call me doctor. There are so many places where they'll come, like, if say 10 women have attended the session, by evening some other woman who has not attended the session during the daytime, she will come to me and she's like, Doctor Madam, mujhe ye problem ho raha hai. And I'm like, I'm not a doctor.
Obviously, for them, I think you are like a doctor because there's no one else who would talk about all these things. So, my next question was coming about this only. So, in rural setups, I understand in urban setups, you have a lot of amenities,
Yeah.
you have doctors, you have hospitals where you can go to. So, in a rural setup, how equipped are these primary healthcare centers to deal with these sensitive topics?
So first of all, these centers are really very far.
Or is
Okay.
it?
Yeah, they
right.
are very far. There is only, if there is a rural area, there's only one hospital, and that is also really very far. There are no clinics as such over there. Okay, in rural setups,
Okay.
majority of the places there's only a hospital, and the doctors' availability is also a big concern, and the the number of doctors is also a
What is
concern.
it called?
The,
The place where everyone comes for medicine and stuff. So in basically villages, no, there is no concept. So like a village will have like a main what do you say, hospital, like a very far off places.
Yeah.
Otherwise, every place will have small like one. I don't know. I forgot the.
Dispensary kind of a thing. A
Yes.
dispensary kind of a
Yes,
thing.
so that dispensary normally doesn't have a lot of specialists coming in. So one doctor comes in which has like a basic degree,
yeah,
who comes in and caters to basic issues.
yeah.
And if the doctor is a man, of course these women are like they don't want to go. So again, so all these are big time issues,
And the reason why the rural people go to the doctors also is sardi, khasi, bukhar.
Exactly.
Bas. उसके अलावा कुछ हुआ तो, like, until unless it's something major, an accident or anything major, then only they go to the hospital. Otherwise, they don't even go to the hospital or the dispensary for medicines or anything.
Okay.
So,
That's
so-
like very,
And apart from that, I guess if they're not delivering babies,
Huh.
then they, because I guess that's again a taboo that if you can't deliver a baby, then
Absolutely.
again there's a problem, and that's when the guy will take her to the doctor then.
yeah.
But till then,
Correct.
if anything in between, there is nothing.
No.
Because we've been to Assam also. I guess in Assam, I guess 40 kilometers from where we were there,
Yeah.
they said 40 kilometers away the hospital is there.
Oh my God. 40
By
kilometers.
person
Yes,
reaches a hospital. And another major problem was, apart from the hospital, there is no transport available.
Yeah.
So
the transport is very expensive.
yeah, so either one, it's expensive, or sometimes it's not available at all. So even if something wrong, like if a major accident or something, if say there was a snake bite, a snake had bitten a person, by the time the person reaches the hospital looking for a vehicle or anything, the person is dead.
Oh God.
It's
That's
that
like really scary, huh? That's really scary.
No, there's
There's
no
no mobile
mobile
range
also. So there was a village where we went in the interiors. They said that in the entire village there's no range. You have to climb a mountain to get the range.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God.
If they want to call a doctor in the
God.
middle of the night, they have to climb the mountain with all those wild animals out there. So you can just imagine the
Right.
kind of
This is like so unbelievable to even think of. I mean, in 2020, when I think mobile and internet has become like so
Yeah.
common for us, can't even imagine that for a person to reach for a phone call, they have to climb a hill.
Yeah,
Oh
and
God.
especially I feel bad because it's an emergency situation,
Correct.
I feel
Correct.
especially at least there's hospitals or some specialists or some doctors should be available at a certain distance for every rural area.
But
Correct,
the thing is,
correct.
they're very casual about it. The thing is, we ask them what happens if a snake bites you. And they're like, if we can't reach, then they die. Like normal.
So
It's
they've
very
started
normal.
living
Yeah,
with
they're
it.
living
They've
with it. So
accepted
they've
it.
accepted that they need to be careful, and otherwise there is some ghar ka nuska that can help them. Otherwise,
but-
there's no way that they can.
But with certain things, There's
Yeah.
no ghar ka nuska is also good.
Yeah.
There's no temporary.
So they're
Correct.
built. So they're built that way that they can survive most of the hardships.
Yeah.
So they have sort of accepted it, and they've given in to the fact that they can't, get the proper medical attention at the
Yeah.
right time.
Yeah.
So what I feel is, I think doctors need to be trained, and have to be deputed at those areas. I mean, at
Yes.
least where these people can get some help. So that's like crazy. I mean, I can't even think about it.
At least even if the doctors cannot stay there, or if there are no clinics, even if there are regular visits
Regular
to these
visits.
areas.
See, because
it's
we
gonna
need
be
to,
a
yeah,
failure.
we need to be very practical also. You can't
Yeah.
like have so many extra added responsibilities on the doctors. But the
Yeah.
thing is, even once in a while, because since they are staying there since years and years together, they are used to staying like that. But then, so what we try and do is we try and have like basic health checkups.
Yeah.
So when we have a health checkup, the doctor from different fields come in and they tell us that this boy and this girl is going to have tough time. So then local people take care that those people go to farther places for their treatment. Otherwise
Okay.
it becomes, so someone has to come and someone has to tell them once in 6 months at least that something's wrong with you, and if you don't take care of it right now, then there'll be a problem.
Yeah.
So setting up hospitals in all of these interior places is something which is impossible.
No,
So
not hospitals, not hospitals. I'm not talking about hospitals. I'm talking about small clinics. Maybe something like you have primary healthcare centers,
Exactly,
not
yeah.
a full-fledged one, at least something where you can deal with emergencies.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And now
That-
with the telemedicine, I think if they can tie up with some of the hospitals and they can have a specialist once in a fortnight talking to these patients over telemedicine will also be a great idea, which can
Absolutely.
be incorporated without a doctor being present there.
Physically present there. Yeah.
So that
Telemedicine is like,
telemedicine has now it's government has also allowed. So that is the one thing which can be incorporated into the practice.
actually the
I
government
think-
has brought a lot of things, but it doesn't reach that level.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of schemes are there that the basic clinics also need to be there, people need to go there, but then somehow it doesn't reach there. So what has happened is we have stopped criticizing the government.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have
Absolutely.
started thinking about what we as individuals can do on a regular basis, so that over a period of time the locals out there are equipped with what needs to be done.
Yeah.
So our whole idea, whenever we go to a new place, now we never want to stay there for life. We tell them that we'll help you to get to a level where you can self-sustain, because we need to go to some other places. Otherwise, what happens? We stay there for long, then they get used to us. They expect us to be there, and they think that we need crores and crores of rupees to take care of them.
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
true.
It is more about spreading awareness rather than treating
Yeah,
like
as you said that they only go with the fever, cough and cold. They also don't come up with their problems.
Exactly. Yeah.
We are also not blaming the government. What we are saying is these centers are also not developing because people also are not aware and they're not talking about their problems.
It all boils down to creating awareness. So
Exactly.
till the time people themselves are not aware of what's happening and what's right and what's wrong,
Yeah.
till the time they don't know about their bodies, they will just not go to a doctor.
And they're so used to it that they have accepted it as a part of their life.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Very
Because they don't
much.
have any option.
Very much.
Until unless it's very major, they don't come up. That's
Yeah.
absolutely true. Now, when we talk about endometriosis, again, there are two aspects of it. One is what we discussed was the patient aspect, that because over the years they have been told that painful periods are normal and they don't talk about it. There are a set of doctors and gynecologists who also tell the patients that pain is normal.
Correct.
And nothing is there. I think Shilpa is a living example of this, and she will tell you more about it. So patient symptoms are also dismissed. So in urban population, there are patients, there are mothers who are bringing them to the doctors, but doctors are also telling them that this is normal, nothing will happen, go, get married, have a child, you will be fine. So that's the reason we are trying to teach both patients as well as doctors, so that we can train both of them. So all doctors are not telling that painful periods are not normal, and it could be endometriosis as well. And also, endometriosis is basically a surgical treatment base. And doing the surgery for an unmarried girl or before marriage or before childbearing for ovarian surgery or a pelvic surgery is again a no-no.
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
I
of course.
They do not accept it as
Yeah.
they would accept it for a childbearing. So they have an image of a woman as just getting married and bearing a child.
Yeah.
So, so see, there are many patients who come to us with severe pain, having 7 to 10 consultations, and they have been told, "Go get married, have a child." So that has to be changed, and which can bring a lot of change in the practice, and patients can be benefited as well. Because
Yeah.
our endometriosis patient, usually there is a delay in diagnosis of 7 to 10 years.
Oh,
Easily. Yeah,
Easily.
yeah.
Because they have been told over time, either by the family or by the doctors, that pain is normal and you don't have to do anything about it. So
So
we,
that's what happened to me, you know. When I went to the gynac, I've been going to gynacs ever since I was in school, if I remember it right. So all the time what the gynacs kept telling me is it is normal, your ultrasounds are normal, your reports are fine, so you don't need any treatment. Finally, when I was like into practice, a couple of years into practice, and I developed severe stomach ache, and I went to the gynac. I was not in a stage even to walk, and she gave me a couple of medicines, and she was like, "Shilpa, actually, I should do a surgery, but you are still not married, so I really don't want to do a surgery." So that was the thing that she told me. I remember it very clearly. So she gave me some medication, and I was like in terrible pain, but I had to go for it because there was no other way. When the doctor is telling you that you have to just take medication and they can't do a surgery on me because I'm not married. So I think that's how it was, you know. So it's crazy. It's crazy.
I can totally understand that this is like a surgery before marriage, but then we are talking about women, mothers even asking with respect to a menstrual cup for a school or a
Correct,
college boy,
correct.
you know, a teenager. So here we're not even talking about any surgery, but then they are more worried about. So basically, they have some perception about virginity. People don't know what
Correct.
virginity is,
Yeah.
and so mostly the most of the sessions start with asking people as to what they think virginity is. And if
Correct.
and I guess if I start writing a book, I can almost write 1,000 pages about the different
Definitions.
definitions of what virginity is by different people in different states of India.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's crazy. So
But you know what, Shilpa, as you mentioned, the doctor told you about this. I feel the doctors somewhere are also scared because sometimes the parents come into the picture and they are like, why, how can you suggest this surgery or operation to my daughter if she's not even married? So, somewhere that is also running in their minds. Maybe, I'm not sure. But that,
Dipti, you know, no,
no,
Dipti, there is
as a
a key
medical
problem.
personnel,
Yeah.
I have to treat that women. Okay. I don't
yeah,
have to treat your parents or family or
yeah,
anyone. It's your quality of life which I have to improve.
See,
Okay.
Dipti, the problem is endometriosis is not taken seriously.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
that's the main problem. You know,
Yeah.
what they feel is the minute you conceive, endometriosis will stop. That's the
Uh,
biggest myth that has been circulating in the doctors' society also. You know, but it is not a solution. You know, there
yeah.
are people who have had terrible times during their pregnancy because of endometriosis.
Yeah.
You know, so that's
And
not a
what
solution.
happens is with the medications, your symptoms may come down, your pain and all that may come down temporarily, but the disease keeps on progressing and it damages your ovaries and pelvic structures. Your chances of fertility might reduce further.
no, but
So,
what if a patient has endometriosis, and after having that she delivers a baby? Are there any chances that her life was normal after that? Are there any cases
No,
like that also?
no, they come back. The symptoms come back.
yeah,
Okay.
if they are pregnant, their symptoms might go down for the time
All
being.
right.
But after
Okay.
delivery, usually after 6 to 8 months, when they start getting periods, their symptoms come back.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
it has a spectrum of symptoms. So it is not only painful periods. It can cause a lot of symptoms, which when we probe them, then they come out. Like fatigue is one of the common symptoms. And fatigue is associated with women because they do household work. And if this is a working woman, she has to be fatigued.
Yeah.
Whole day she has to be fatigued.
Yeah.
So So this is like an accepted symptom, and most of these endometriosis patients have fatigue as a very common symptom. They don't feel hungry. They have depression, mood changes. So these are not associated with painful periods, but they have these symptoms, and after surgery, we have seen dramatic changes in their symptoms.
But
And
isn't
this,
there any?
as you said, the doctors.
Isn't there,
Sorry, Shilpa.
I said, isn't there anything which is very unique? Because what you just told is something which is very common nowadays in the rural, in the urban areas. Like depressed, also a person can be depressed for X number, or mood swings. Dipti has like a lot of mood swings. So so there are a lot of things which, see, normally when we also talk about certain
No,
things.
no. In those cases, we have a evidence that she has endometriosis also.
Okay, so what are
I'm
those?
not saying every depressed person is endometriosis. I'm saying endometriosis patients have depression and fatigue.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the thing? What would you like?
Otherwise.
No, see, the thing is, first and foremost, sometimes endometriosis can be very silent. So there
Okay.
might be no symptoms also. Okay,
Okay.
and patients will get to know only when they report to a doctor with infertility.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
that is,
They might have big cysts, but they don't have any pain, any symptom. They might have these hidden symptoms, but major symptoms like painful periods, painful intercourse, they don't have. They come to us when they're trying for pregnancy, and then we find big cysts. So silent
And
endometriosis is also
yeah, correct. And second thing is that fatigue is one of the commonest factor, very, very common. Fatigue is something which they will have through the day. It is not that it'll be okay when they get up in the morning. They're tired even when they wake up in the morning. Because what's happening is there's inflammation in the body, right?
Yeah.
So there is inflammation throughout, right? So there is no way your body is, relaxing. So there's a lot of fatigue associated. So that is one of the common symptoms which are there. It is common normally, but the severity of the fatigue does matter. If a person is severely fatigued, in periods, again, since you take sessions, in periods, they might be heavy flow, okay, or a lot of clotting, you know. So these are some of the few things which happen in patients with endometriosis. So if you're taking a session, if you have somebody coming to you and talking about excessive bleeding or clots coming up, so that there is a chance that they should go for further investigation
Right.
that way.
Also, I would like to mention, Deepti, you just mentioned that doctors are scared to tell them about surgery. So it's not about being scared or something, it's about being the right information. So there is a practice very prevalent that where endometriosis is being treated with medicines, and it is all pharma driven. Pharma companies have marketed these medicines so much that every other doctor is prescribing those medicines without a long term benefit. But they have a lot of side effects.
Of course. Yeah.
So if you tell the patient that medicines I'll give you and endometriosis will go away, it becomes so difficult for us to convince them that medicines won't work. She has gone to 6 doctors and I'm the 7th doctor. 6 doctors have told her that you need medicine, and the 7th doctor is telling her surgery.
Surgery, okay.
They'll go to the 8th one.
Yes.
Who will tell them that you take medications?
So 6 have told her medicine, and the 7th doctor is telling her the surgery. So the 7th one may be wrong, right?
Maybe wrong, of course.
There comes the education of the doctors and practitioners, because endometriosis is ill managed all over the world, not only in India, all over the world. A lot of movement is going on for this.
Yeah. So Dipti and Saurabh, there is one question for both of you. So from your side, what is it that people like us, Vimi and I, can do to create awareness about endometriosis? And secondly, is it important to incorporate menstrual health and hygiene in schools at a regular basis?
Yeah, so I'll answer the second one first. I think it is really very very important. It should be on priority for the education system, for schools to put it up into the education system, because at an early age, if girls get to know about it, it's really very
Even the boys, I feel.
even the boys, yeah.
Because
Both-
finally
both
they are
the
family
genders.
at a later stage.
Yes, of course. For both the genders, it's very important to know about it. So that of course has to be done. And coming to the first question, how we can go about it is, uh, you'll have to visit a lot of places to do this every once in a while. I understand that it is going to be difficult for you to travel like us to the interiors, to the rural parts. But even if you initiate it,
There'll be more people.
Yeah,
There'll be
you
more
will
people,
take the
yeah.
first step, and then there will be more people who would come into the picture. At least people will start, knowing about it. Right now,
Correct.
on the scale of 1 to 10, it is, I think, at 1 or maybe even -1.
Yeah, might be. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Correct.
because
I know.
it took so many years for people to open up about periods. So endometriosis is not even heard. The term also is not heard by anyone. If I go
Correct.
to the village, if I go to the colleges now, schools, anywhere, if I go, if I say this term, I'm very sure nobody knows about it.
Correct.
No one has even heard about it. So I think you have to take that first step where you physically go to these places, and you put it up on your social media saying that you are visiting to these places and you are spreading it. So, people come to us and they tell us that you're going to these places, you're doing this work. Why are you doing show off? So it's not
Initially, it
show
started.
off.
Initially, it started
Yeah.
like.
It's not show off. It is spreading awareness. It is letting
Correct.
people know that this is needed and this can be done. This is the solution.
Correct.
Going and
Correct.
approaching people and talking to them is the solution. Just watching videos on YouTube, like there are a lot of people who will put it up on YouTube. They'll give all the information, all the necessary information, but still that one-on-one
Personal touch, yeah.
interaction,
Personal
that
touch is
personal
missing.
touch is really very important, because people feel, girls, women, men, everybody, they feel more comfortable when somebody is in front of them and they can directly ask them questions if they have any issues. So I think that is very much.
We can totally understand that, yes.
That is
The
correct.
online,
I
with the
would
online things going on, we
So,
totally
don't mind
understand that.
taking up this
Personal
topic.
touch is there.
We want to have local people involved. So wherever we go, we have like one or two people who are locally aware of what's happening, because those are the contact people. I can't cater to all places. So wherever 10 states that we have gone to, so some of the followers of Dipti have invited us. So what we did was, we first of all gave explained that person who had invited us about what we do. And obviously that person knew about what we are doing, and that's why they invited us. So what we did was, we thoroughly explained what we are here for. So tomorrow, if there is any problem that comes, you as a local will be able to take care of those local people first. If that is not done, then you can get in touch with us and we will we'll answer your queries further. So that is also very important, that wherever you're going, have one local person, because otherwise it's impossible me going to 10 states. I would have been stuck in Mumbai itself. And that's what we do. So now we've been invited by a lot of people, but when they invite us, we tell them, are you fine with using a menstrual cup and getting yourself trained first, so that you can cater to your area? I don't want to answer 1,000 calls from your area. Not that I don't want to, but then once I have equipped one person, that person can take it forward. So we don't want to be in such a way
It's
that
not feasible also.
yeah, exactly, it's not feasible. So the whole concept is just pass it forward, or like so
that's completely correct. Actually, that's how it will grow. Otherwise, if you're the only one doing it, it's not possible at all.
Limit more people like you.
So it has to be a chain, and
it has to be, even what I have realized is that with menstruation as well, a lot of organizations come to me and they are like, okay, can you train our people? So I'm like, okay, this is not a course. Okay, this is something which is very personal. So whatever information I'll give technically is fine, but whatever personally the person has experienced in her periods is something that she has to go and share. I cannot give you a standard PPT. Okay, ye hai, because everybody out there, the audience, everybody is going to be different. Everybody has different issues. So when you go, you can't go with a standard PPT or a standard explanation. Of course, you can go with the common symptoms and the common, issues that are there, but you always have to go with the right information, is what I'm trying
because
to say.
I guess we must have done more than 100, 200 sessions, and I guess not a single session. I put it up online also. You'll be shocked to see that none of my session is the same. Because it's always based on the people out there. The language has changed. The questions have changed. Some people have asked us about how they use ingredients for washing, we wash and whatnot, we wash, sex, this, that, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of different directions it goes, and finally we come to menstrual hygiene. So it's
Okay.
never started with a particular standard.
So the thing is that even if, say, if we, for example, if Saurabh and I decide on taking up endometriosis as a awareness topic, we will not be confident until somebody like Shilpa or Dr. Vimi or Shilpa, both of y'all, until you say that okay, you know at least 80% of what endometriosis is. But Shilpa will always be on the higher side because she's
She's
suffered
gone
from
through
it.
it. Yeah.
So you will be always in a better position to send out the correct information. So I'm saying the sending out the right information is also very crucial in these kind of topics. So you cannot
Correct.
give the bonus to anybody who comes to you and tells you that okay, I'll go and do it in this particular area. So
Hmm.
that is what,
Absolutely. Perfect.
yeah.
So I think that's really needed for urban people. Definitely, these online sessions and a lot of videos and interactions do help. But
Yeah.
reaching the rural population is a Herculean task, and you guys are doing a commendable job in that.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
when we may request you that if you are doing these sessions and you can include painful periods as a part of your education program, will help a lot of women, if not endometriosis.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you can tell them how you can differentiate normal pain or mild cramps from a abnormal pain, then I think the message will go out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There will be mild cramps for all women when they
Right.
have menstruation because the uterus contracts and it expels the endometrial lining. That's
Yeah.
absolutely normal. And they can do their routine activities. Any pain which interferes with their routine activities, some women lie on the bed. They can't cook, they can't do their routine activities.
Yeah.
The young girls, they have to skip their school or they can't attend to their exams. If
Correct.
these things are happening, this is not normal. This message also goes out. Maybe we will be able to pick up some women or some young girls with endometriosis.
Yeah.
So you don't use the term endometriosis because that's too technical for them to understand and they're not interested also. But if you say painful periods and the pain which does not subside with mild painkillers or hot
Intolerable. Yeah.
or hot water bag
Yeah.
or any general measures, walking around or doing some exercises and all, it does not come down and it interferes with your daily routine. It hampers your quality of life in a sense. Then I think they'll try to understand that yes, this is something abnormal which should be addressed.
Right.
So where do we
Absolutely.
direct these people? Okay, like say example, what happens is after a session, we do get calls after like the next day, or we might even get calls after months and months together.
Saurabh, you can give them our contact details. That's
Okay.
not a problem. So we can guide them accordingly. So perfectly
Okay.
all right with that. We'll be happy to answer whatever queries we will be getting because we have been doing that. We have been getting a lot of calls and we have been answering. I mean, as much as the entire purpose of starting this group was to help people. Because I see what I could not get is something which I would want to give others.
Exactly.
So together I am with me have been trying to do this only. We are just trying to help as many people as possible, guide them through the right to the right person, or whatever can be done. That's the entire thing. In case you have somebody who comes up to you and you think we can help them, please feel free to share our details with them and ask them to reach back to us.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
definitely.
We are not sure how much it will be of help to them because they are in remote areas. But yes, as much
at
as
least,
possible, we can guide.
we can at least guide them. What
Yeah.
they're going through.
Yeah.
Perfect. It has been like 1 hour just passed by, and I think we didn't even realize the time. It's been like such an interesting session.
Yeah.
And any parting words, guys, you have for our audience?
I think we would only want to say that social work, like people tell us that you guys have been doing a lot of social work, but social work really isn't a very big thing. You just have to be very, you have to observe what is going on around you. You have to observe people who are in need of, and just take that one extra step and go and help that person without thinking too much. And I think that's what is going to bring the change. Nothing apart from that.
I guess yeah. So you don't need to make a big change. I guess
Yeah.
a small change in whatever aspect that you can do. As an individual, whatever you can do is big enough.
Yeah.
A lot of people do tell us with respect to you are an NGO, so you can. But then I normally tell them that I started like with helping one person.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, that will be like the best thing. So
You
that's
change
how.
something, you will feel the difference.
Yes, definitely. And you get the feel good factor as well.
Yeah, so that's what it. I mean, just one person. If you can just help one person, so this is a takeaway for every person. So don't target at helping 100 people. Start
Yeah.
with one person.
Start with one.
Yeah, one person,
Start
one
with one.
animal,
One animal, one bird, one
anything.
tree, one plant, anything. Anything. Just one. Just begin.
Yeah.
Just start. Just don't plan.
Yeah.
Just start. You need to take action at
Amazing.
the point in time.
Oh, lovely. I mean, this was by far one of the best sessions that we had. It was so interactive. It was like, it was as if we like sitting and talking to friends, you know. So very, very happy to have you here. And thank you so much, Saurabh and Dipti. It was like a pleasure having you over on
Thank
Endometriosis.
you
so
for
much for
having
having
us on this platform. We are really very happy,
happy.
and we would really want to spread more awareness with respect to endometriosis, and we'll work together soon.
Absolutely, absolutely. Looking forward. Thank you, Vimi. Thanks.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Saurabh.
yeah,
Thank you.
and thanks to all the audience who have joined us, and thanks again to everyone who will be joining us later. And have a lovely evening ahead. And bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Good night.
Good night.